I get a lot of comments about how I look so young, I must have good genes, and I'm not going to pretend that genetics doesn't help, but here's the proof that genetics is not everything. This is a picture of me at the age of 29, and here's a picture of me right now at the age of 40. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like I look much more fresher, more fit. I look healthier and more radiant on my face and also my body. Over the past couple of years, I've learned that looking young and feeling young is not just about what we put on our face. It's not just about the skin routine, but it's about everything that we do in our everyday life. And in this video, I want to talk about all the things that I do to keep myself young, to keep myself looking young. I'll be covering a little bit of science and also covering what I do, what I avoid, what I eat, what exercise I do, and also my skincare routine as well. But if you're new here, my name is Poppy. I document everything that I've learned throughout the years, documenting my journey of reinventing, whether that be fitness, relationship, or business. And over here, I try to keep things as real as possible. So if this is your vibe, then stay tuned and hit that subscribe button. Let's start with the most obvious thing, and that is genetics. I really do think that genetics really give you good foundation, but it is just a foundation and that is it. You know, looking at my picture like 10 years ago, I was definitely younger, but I do really think that I look so much better now. So the way that I think about genetics is a good foundation, but what you do on a day-to-day basis, your lifestyle, actually builds the house. There was this concept that I learned, I would say 2 years ago, and it changed how I look at aging and looking young and taking care of myself completely. And that is oxidative stress. I feel like we hear the word antioxidants all the time. It is in our foods, it is in supplements, it is in our skincare. But I think a lot of us don't really understand why we need antioxidants and what they're for. So let me try to explain this in the simplest way. Our body naturally goes through wear and tear as time goes by, but there are going to be certain things that speed up that process. Things like too much alcohol, pollution, too much sun, smoking, chronic stress, processed foods, and sugar, or even bad sleeping. These things create something called oxidative stress, and we'll look at oxidative stress as like the bad stuff. It simply means that there is too much damage happening in the body and our body don't have enough protection or antioxidants to keep it up. So when people say that you need to look younger from the inside out, this is actually very true, because if your body constantly having to deal with these oxidative stress all the time, then eventually it is going to show up on your body, on your face, and i.e. aging. You can be buying the most expensive skincare in the world, but if your lifestyle is constantly aging you from the inside out, your skincare is not going to do much. So looking young isn't really just about adding more products, but it's also about reducing the things that can cause damage inside our body to begin with. And with that, the first thing that I want to cover is the food, because our body, like I said, is going through a lot of oxidative stress. The way to help balancing that is consume foods that is high in antioxidants. And I'll be the first one to say that I actually don't love eating vegetables, but because my goal is to look young and feel young, even though when I turn 70 or 80, I have been trying to be conscious with what I eat and what I consume, and consume antioxidant rich foods. Things like berries, leafy greens, avocados, olive oil, eggs. And if you follow me on Instagram, you will see that I post a lot of these foods. I also try my best to cook at home, because I do also know that processed foods is something that is also causing oxidative stress. So I try to minimize that as much as possible. I do eat out from time to time like everyone else, but I don't buy ready to eat meals or like frozen meals like ever, because first of all, I don't think they taste very good, and second of all, I also know that they are so processed, and it is also a cause of oxidative stress to my body. I don't aim to be perfect, with everything that I'm going to cover in this video, always apply 80-20% rule, because it's not about perfection. It's what you do most of the time that will have the most impact. And as we're talking about food, I might as well cover supplements. The only supplement that I take with the aim of looking young is collagen. I put that in my morning coffee almost every single day. The next thing I do is intermittent fasting. Now, there is a lot of research out there that supports the fact that intermittent fasting helps with aging, because the longer fast, you get this thing called autophagy, which is when your body repairs itself at the very cellular level and then prevents you from aging so quickly. Now, I'm probably not 100% bought that fact, but for me personally, I'm gonna have to say this, that I don't think it is normal for us to be eating all the time. I think it makes sense for us to give our bodies some time to digest, rest, repair, and restore. So what I do is I do gentle intermittent fasting, where I fast between 12 to 14 hours overnight. I might have my last meal at 8 o'clock, and then I don't eat again until 8 o'clock the next day, or around 10 o'clock, depending on how hungry I get. The next thing is to move your body. I genuinely think that the fastest way to age your body is to stop moving. And I'm not just talking about like going to the gym, doing like hard CrossFit, those are the stuff that I do, but I'm not talking just about those. I'm talking about just simply moving your body, whether that be going for a walk, a run, dancing, stretching, just move your body in general. I don't know if you have noticed, but if you see someone who has been in a hospital for a very long time where they are bedbound, you will see the difference in the way they look and how much the lack of movement have aged their body. And I know personally for me, when I go dancing, I feel alive. When I lift weights, I feel strong. When I go for a walk or for a run, my head is clear. When I try something new, I feel like I am expanding as a person. And I think a combination of all these is a big part of looking young and feeling young. The next thing is reducing stress. I am sure you have seen someone that carries too much stress, like especially chronic stress before. You can see it in their face, you can see it in their eyes, you can see it in their posture, you can see it in their energy. And I know that is so true in my own life as well. When I was going through a divorce, when I was going through my relationship hardship, when I was doing a job that I absolutely hated, I felt exhausted, I looked exhausted. All of that affects your mind and affects your body from the inside out, and eventually it is going to come out on your face and how you look. So I think it's important to find a way to manage stress, and personally I do that in many ways. So first of all is boundaries. I have this rule that if there's something that bothers me, keeping me up at night, giving me lack of sleep, whether that be an issue, a person, if that prolongs for more than a month, then I need to cut that person out of my life or that thing out of my life. Boundaries also means not staying in a situation that constantly deregulates me. It's also important to find a way to de-stress at home after a long stressful day. And for me personally, it's taking a bath, go for a walk, or working out. For you, it could be playing instruments or talking to your loved ones. Peace is so important. Peace impacts you differently. I had such a big glow up after my divorce because that marriage was consuming me and stressing me out, and I was constantly upset, constantly crying. Now that we have covered how to look young from the inside, which is obviously the most important in my opinion, but now let's look at my current skincare routine, because skincare still matters too. But before we get into the detail, there's a few things that I want to mention. So first of all, I am not a dermatologist. So what I am using, you might want to talk to your dermatologist or look up online or ChatGPT to see if that will be good for you. We all have different skin requirements, so make sure you do your research as well. I also have a very, very dry skin, so do bear that in mind. If you're in your 30s or 40s, you may have heard of retinol before, because I think that is the active ingredients that a lot of people recommend us later on in life using to help with fine lines, to smoothen skin tone. And I tried retinols and over-the-counter skincare before, but none of them really had any good results on me. Additionally, as I was getting to turn 40, I think it was like January this year, I did vlog about it before, that I started to have hormonal acne. I never suffered or had any acne problems in my entire life up until recently, and it's around my jawline and also my forehead. So I know for sure that they are hormonal acne. And with that, I had to go to see my dermatologist and to come up with the best skincare for me. And I was prescribed tretinoin, which is a prescription strength retinol. In the morning, I will start off with a very gentle cleanser, and then I'll follow by a moisturizer. And currently I'm using the one from The Ordinary, and it is a natural moisturizing factor, HA. And then I will follow with sunscreen. And I want to talk about sunscreen for a little bit, because the UV is actually the main oxidative stress to your skin, and probably the biggest one. When I was younger, I never used any sunscreen, and this is why my skin is so much better now than back then, because I am using sunscreen every single day, actually twice a day. What to look for in terms of sunscreen is the SPF. If you live in a warm climate where there's a lot of sun, I live in Florida, I used to live in Thailand, then SPF 50 is probably what you are going to need. Another thing to look out for, and it is directly related to skin aging and wrinkles, is the PA factor over here, which is the measure of how good the sunscreen is at protecting from UVA. And the UVA is actually the things that causes wrinkles and skin damage. So you want to look for something that is like PA+++. This is why I live in the US now, and this is why it's so difficult to find, for me personally, a good sunscreen in the USA, because a lot of them give me white cast most of the time. I think the US regulation doesn't require sunscreen companies to show the PA factor, so I never really know how good it is in protecting me from UVA. Usually in the US, it does show the SPF, and that is how good the sunscreen is protecting us from UVB, which is like sunburn. So I find when it comes to sunscreen, Asian brands are the best. I am using two right now. So the first one that I use in the morning is by Mizumi. This one is jelly to water texture. I find this really good, especially in the morning before I apply makeup, because it absorbs really well into the skin. It doesn't leave me any cast, and it also gives like a nice base for my foundation to go on. Another sunscreen that I am using as well is Clear Nose, and this one is also non-greasy. I put this one on around like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon on top of my makeup, foundation or whatever. I don't wear a lot of makeup anyway, but I will put this on top. I don't know if you can get these in the US. I'm gonna have to check those out as soon as I finish filming. But if you're in the USA and looking for a sunscreen that you can buy in the USA that doesn't have any white cast, not too like sticky, greasy like most sunscreens are, I recommend this one that I was using before. Now in the evenings it varies, because like I said, now that I'm using tretinoin, and that is quite a strong active ingredient, my skin can't handle that every day. So 3 times a week I'll be using tretinoin, and then I will follow by a pretty heavy moisturizer, which is this one from CeraVe. Use face mask is what I'm doing on the nights that I'm not using tretinoin. Again, I have to emphasize that because tretinoin is already a very strong active ingredient. When it comes to like face mask, I'm just using the ones that don't have really strong ingredients, but moisturizing and also improving skin barriers. There's a couple of face masks that I've been using that I really enjoy, and the first one is the Garnier Skin Active Nutri Balm. Found them when I was living in London, and I've been loving them for so long. It's really hard to get in the USA. but you can get on Amazon. Another face mask that I am liking as well is this hydrogel mask by 𝙏𝙬𝙄𝙈𝙀𝙎. The next one that I have been really liking is eye mask by Image Skincare. I would say maybe not like 4 nights out of the week I'll be using a combination of these, but probably like maybe 2 or 3 nights. Those are everything that I believe helping me looking young, staying young, feeling young. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. I will see you in the next video, and in the meantime, do take care of yourself, stay healthy, stay young. Bye.